Okay, so this came up at the hustings as well last night. We got a question from Michael Hanrahan, and he's given all of us the plan. He's gone through the plans with us, and it looks like a fantastic project. It really does. It looks like something that will bring more activity to campus, closer to campus, get people more involved with physical activity, which is good for mental health as well. So, in terms of the benefit the project could have, I think it's very positive. The €50 was a big thing. It's quite an ask for a lot of people to give up €50 at the start of the year. And like I said last night, I suppose the way I personally view it is, am I willing to spend €50 on trying to improve the physical and mental health of students in UCC? And for me personally, that's a yes. I'm willing to kind of vote in favour of it. But that's why we are having a referendum, and whatever people decide, I'm going to follow through on that, because I understand that it's quite a substantial amount of money. So while I'm in favour of it, I'm not going to kind of campaigning either way.
I think we all touched upon it last night at hustings as well. I think it's a great idea. And I just want to put the point across that it won't just be for the benefit of clubs and societies. This investment is going to be for everybody. Included in the plans are 2 brand new leisure kind of areas outside of the campus, close by but still outside it, that we'll be able to utilise for just even lounging around on a sunny day. Societies will be able to utilise it to do things outside instead of being cramped into some meeting room in the library or somewhere around UCC. And also it'll bring a new type of events, a new series of events to UCC, especially in relation to Raise and Give Week. We'll be able to host way more outdoor events and hopefully be able to host way more non-alcohol related events, which I think is a huge thing at the moment. It was mentioned at half hustings as well, people who are not yet the age to drink coming to college feel a bit left out during the week because they can't really get involved. I do understand that college does its best to make sure that there is a lot of non-drinking kind of things going on, events going on, but sometimes it's just kind of raise and give. People think of the partying and things like that. Michael brought us all the plans. I met with him yesterday, laid it out. We all got what the €50 is going to entail. And as it was put, I said this last night, that €50 is a night out. Not all the time, but when you think about it, the amount that you're going to spend on your taxi, the amount you're going to spend on drink, getting into the club, getting home from the club, it really is a good investment. If you gave up one night going out throughout the whole year, or 2 nights, you could invest in not just for UCC clubs and societies, but for yourself as well. And I just think the whole idea will be really beneficial to UCC.
I'm fully in favour of this proposed plan. As I mentioned earlier on, I've trained UCC teams, I've played in UCC teams, and we have been based out at the farm. At the moment, anyone that's seen it can see the setup out there. It's an absolute shambles out there. It's old, it's dirty, it smells, it's not up to the standard that UCC, the rest of UCC College has. When you welcome teams in from Dublin, Limerick, Kerry, it's almost embarrassing to send them into a changing room that's filthy. And when you go to different places, you see that the standards that they have. CIT out the road has an absolutely state-of-the-art facility out there. Their pitches are unbelievable. Why can't we be the same? We're supposed to be UCC. We're supposed to have this prestige. Why can't our sporting facilities be the same? Without the €50 increase, you're literally copying and pasting what's in the farm just across the road. But I know €50 is an awful lot to ask for students, and I wouldn't feel right to ask students for €50 unless I felt that it was really for the betterment of the student population. But this money can go towards state-of-the-art facilities. They have plans for teaching practice rooms out there as well as an underground gym. Now, anyone that goes to the Meredith gym will know that sometimes you have to wait 10, 15, 20 minutes for different equipment. This can relieve the pressure out there, and it can free up the squad gym out there. I really do think that students, it's for the betterment of the student population. I'm fully behind it myself. Having said that, it is a referendum, it is a student vote, and I will go along with whatever the students vote for. Although myself personally, I do feel that it is definitely for the betterment of the students.
Yeah, it's a great question, and I've had to kind of think about it a lot, because when I first saw the Facebook post that the petition was going around, my first reaction was, what are we doing? asking this question of students. And the reason being is because I suppose the way the student society is at the moment, we're very willing to say yes to a question, and sometimes it's unfashionable to say no. And to get proper debate around this issue is going to be really difficult. Whether the SU should take a stance on it, if we're mandated to take a stance on it, yes, we should take a stance on it. Whether UCC as a university should take a stance on it, that's a really, really tough question. I think it's right for us to have an opinion on it. How active we are in lobbying is something that I really have to think about, especially now, given how the North is. It's probably less stable than it has been for the last couple of years, and while it's part of the Sinn Féin philosophy that we should have a united Ireland, it's a really tricky question for us down in the south to kind of to answer and to get behind. So if this kind of question came up 5 years down the road or 10 years down the road, it might be easier to answer because things might be more stable. But at the moment, it's just not as stable as I'd like it to be in the north to kind of take a firm stance on it. But that said, we're going to have a referendum, and whatever the outcome of the referendum is, I'm going to have to go along with that.
Last night at Hustings, to mention it again, there was actually people there sitting behind us before the president went on stage to speak, wearing United Ireland tops, and I asked, I couldn't see the bottom of it, so I was like, do you know what it is you're doing? What is it that you want to gain from coming here tonight and stuff, and asking us, what our opinions would be. Now, obviously, every student that campaigns for something we must respect as a student union. Although we're holding the referendum to see what the majority vote is, but I think it's important that if they do need support or they do want support, we need to be able to give them that support by holding a referendum. I think this year's student union has done a really good job in making sure that this situation is dealt with properly. Obviously, whether or not it'll be brought to a national referendum, we possibly couldn't answer. If it's UCC going to take a stance and be like, we want the 6 counties back, that's just going to have to be a time frame to see if that's even going to happen. Obviously, with Brexit happening at the moment, you must take into consideration the financial obligations that it would entail of having United Front again, and how the government would work and things like that. But as a student union, I think we're just going to have to wait and see what the referendum outcome is, and then meet back, have a chat about it, whoever the president-elect will be at the time, meet with the current student union, see what their stance is on it, and just take it from there. And hopefully it won't be a difficult situation to do that. We'll all be able to come together and talk through it properly.
Yeah, I think definitely UCC needs to have a voice in the referendum. Obviously, as a student union president, if elected, I would fully support whatever the students vote for. My own personal views are my own personal views. I will be voting alongside every other student on the day, but I will fully support whatever the college votes for. But I do think it's important, regardless of where we are in Ireland, regardless if we're in the south, that everyone in Ireland should have an opinion on it. Everyone should have a vote, and I think it's important as well that people look at everything, as we already heard there, like the financial obligations of the country, Brexit. We just have to look at, people need to make an educated decision. People don't need to look at memes on Facebook and anything like that and be like, oh, we want the 6 counties back, blah, blah, blah. People need to make an informed decision. They need to be educated on what it means to go with or against it. But like I said earlier on, I will be fully supporting what the UCC students vote for.